If you've got a little bit of Christmas money over, or you're just a bit of a tech head and you want some gadgets for your ski holiday, then here are two for your consideration: the GoPro Hero 3 and heads-up display goggles. First up, I wanted to have a look at the GoPro Hero 3. Now, as the name suggests, this is the third generation of the hugely popular GoPro cameras. It's smaller and lighter than the original two models, but still does look pretty stupid when it's strapped onto the top of your head. Although it is still quite bulky, it is a hugely powerful camera. You can shoot at 1080, which is full HD resolution, at 50 frames a second. And if you want to drop that down to 720, you can shoot at 100 frames a second. This means your playback is going to be very, very smooth, even on very fast-moving objects. And you can also use it to make shoot slow motion. So if you want to make those slow-mo shots that you see in the likes of The Art of Flight, you can actually achieve that with this and a little bit of computer trickery. The other thing it does is it then also shoots at 2.7K. Now, this is higher resolution than your HD TV or even a Blu-ray, and it's actually a higher resolution than Apple's Retina display. This is getting close to cinema quality in a camera that costs just 350 quid. That's all well and good, and there's plenty of tech features that you can read about, but I thought the best thing to do was go up on the hill and give it a shot.
I'd like to introduce you to the Gospel according to the Papa, Chapter 1, Song 1, verses 1 through 4.
One of the new features on the GoPro Hero 3 is that you can change the field of view. Before, you could only select widescreen, which gave the images a really blown out, bubbly feel, but now you can choose between wide, medium and narrow field of vision. There's also far more control with the new GoPro. You can set things like the white balance and choose to shoot in RAW, which means that the camera is really starting to aim at a more professional market. So they've made it smaller and lighter, and they've addressed the field of vision. But the thing that I think really makes this camera stand out from the others, and one of the things that I think does make it worth buying, is the new app that goes along with it. The problem with the old GoPros was always that it's fiddly flicking through the menus with these buttons. With a new one, you can download an app and control almost every aspect of the camera. But more importantly, you can also now use it to preview your shot, so you can set up your shot composition before you even press record. So, the GoPro Hero 3, they retail at about 350 quid, and they are a little bit tricky to get hold of, but for my money, this is a great little gadget and definitely something that I'm happy I've bought. Now, next up, heads-up display goggles. Now, I've always been fairly skeptical that this was a good idea. I mean, fair enough if you're Iron Man, but if you're skiing along down the slope, you're zigging, you're zagging, you look down at your speed, oh, I'm going that fast. You look at the run, oh, I'm on that run. Oh, my mum likes my goggles, my dad likes my goggles, everyone on Facebook likes my goggles, and you've crashed into a tree. So I've always thought that heads-up display on a pair of ski goggles seemed a little unnecessary, but far be it from me to make a decision without trying them out first. So I took a pair, I went up on the hill, and I had a wee play around. The heads-up display unit, it comes separate from the goggles. It's made by a company called Recon, and they retail at about £300. You can then choose which goggles you want to put it into, as long as they've been specially designed to cope with the Recon unit. The goggles enable you to log all of the information recorded from a day's skiing, everything from speed and altitude to vertical descent, and you can then look back at this at the end of the day. You can connect the goggles to your iPhone and either listen to music or receive incoming calls. All the information that the goggles sends you, incoming phone calls, what track you're listening to, how fast you're going, your vertical descent, is displayed on a very small screen in the bottom right-hand side of the goggle. Now, for me, this was never really going to work, as I have very bad vision in my right eye. And I also found it quite distracting having to keep looking down. And in fact, when you're going quite fast, you tend not to look down. You're concentrating so much on skiing or snowboarding that you don't look down to the bottom right to find out all the information. The goggles are really good at, as I say, logging all of the information from your day, so if you want to have a GPS unit, they work brilliantly as that. But to be honest, there are apps that you can download for far cheaper than these goggles that'll tell you almost the same information. It is actually quite a lot of fun having the information displayed up in front of you, but probably not that useful, to be completely honest. So if I had to pick between one of the two gadgets, I'd definitely go with the GoPro Hero 3. Well, that's it. If you've got any money left over from Santa, then there are two options for you. And as I say, I'd go with the camera.